Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gas Mask Guys, and today I have an interesting piece for you today. I have the S6 gas mask fitted out for tanker use. In addition to this, I have the M1973 Dandare helmet attached to it. And these were issued together from the 1970s up until the 1980s, when the S6 was finally replaced by the S10. However, S6s were used until the very end of the 1990s, and some rare examples were still found in reservist use or storage past the 2000s. To date, there are no S6s in service. All of them have been retired, and that goes for the tanker models too. Now, the very last use, we'll go from end to first. So the first use of the S6 in tanker usage was, the last use was in training. So they did have some of these masks available to use for training crews. Most of this happened in the 1990s, as, like I said, from 1986 furthermore, they had the S10 replacing them. Now, as you can see, it has a mount here. The mount is made in 1988, and it just fixes onto here. And then it allows to attach the respirator mic. Now, the respirator mic was made in 1989. There you go, 1989, mic respirator. It will also fit the S10, so will this bracket. It fits the S10 as well. Now, as you can see, it has the standard S6 filter. This is the second design. It has this. The first design, which did contain asbestos, was largely outdated by the 1970s, 1980s. Now, this S6 is from 1978. You probably can't see that. You probably just saw that. 1978. So, it's definitely correct, and it was probably definitely used. Now, a lot of these found service during the Falkland Wars in the early 1980s, prior to the S10 being created, and prior to the, I forget what the newer helmet was, but they made a replacement helmet for this helmet. That is actually ballistic proof, that is still used to date, but the Dandare was being used at the time. Now, pretty neat features about this. Also, here's an interesting point about this one. I don't know if this is a personal rig-up or if this is common. Instead of the regular backstrap for the S6, it has an S10 backstrap. It looks like, most likely, the S6 strap probably broke because, you know, they fray when they get older. And they just replaced it with a, I don't know what date this is, but I'm going to guess a 1988 backstrap, because that's when most of them were made. Now, there's all the stamp marks. So it's no longer useful now, but, yeah. Here's the inside of the mask. As you can see, it's got the, you blow that up to create seal on this, just like I showed on the other S6 video. You see, it's got a nose cone, nose cup, a lot like it's just like the S10s, but different. And then you got the beveled eye lenses, which is very nice. So, yeah. And unfortunately, I don't have a tank with me to test this, but one of these days, I'm going to test this mic and see if it works. One of these days. Yeah, I thought I'd do a quick video just to show you guys. Now, let's continue back into its service. The very first use of these was in the Falkland Wars, like I said. All tank crews had these because they were brand new. They could take the microphone mounts. Now, the microphones were a lot different back then. They would have been a slightly different design. I don't have any of the older ones, but this one is the from 1989, so close enough. What else? Now, some crews who didn't have these mics, some of them actually would use this, but it was not effective. So that's why most people, most military units just would issue out these brackets and these to go with your S6 models. And then you would just fold it up and put it into your gas mask bag. As you can see here, very old gas mask bag. Let's see what date it was made, if its markings have faded. Okay, there's no markings on this. So I'm going to guess, there should be some markings up here. This one is 1972. There you go, 1972. No, 1975. 1975 was when this was made. So all of it seems to check out. All of the equipment is correct. Now, as you can see, you'd put this on, and underneath the Dandare helmet, if you look closely, there is a strap you can adjust to go over your respirator, which is very nice. Very good. You also have this little faceplate that you can actually remove. So you can remove that. It's Velcro if your respirator's in the way. Yeah, now let's pull this back. Got my headphones on so I can, yeah. So yeah, and as you can see, this one has seen use. Now, I don't know if this was actually used in the Falklands War or if it was used in any conflict or just training. All I do know is that it's been refurbished. It has been used plenty of times. The filter's been dented to hell. The backstrap is different. So obviously this was a probably armorer's refurbishment, or maybe a soldier just did this because, you know, back in those times there were thousands of these lying around, and S6 harnesses were getting rare because they stopped producing them in the early 80s. So yeah. Now, your dating for this kit is dating from 1973 to about 1990, I would say. Personally, I think that's how long these types of equipment was used for. So yeah, and as you can see, here's the part that connects to the tank, so you can communicate with your tank crew. As you see, there is some damage to the wire, so I don't know if it will work, but I think it'd be cool if I could get it running. I might actually put it on now, and yeah, I will be right back. Okay, turns out I would have to do a separate recording, so I will do a separate recording next week, and I'll show you what it looks like on someone. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video by me. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I look forward to what we have next week. See you guys.